I get asked all the time, what's my advice for 20-year-olds that are looking to make a lot of money? And the reason people ask me that is because I'm 25 years old and I've made a lot of money over the last 5 years, millions and millions of dollars. I've got 2 pieces of advice for 20-year-olds. Number 1, get a relationship with Jesus, get into church, start reading your Bible, and give your life to Jesus. That's the number 1 thing I did that ever changed my life, more than just financially. I started to have more peace, more joy, more hope, more love, more faith, and I just became all around happier, and I lived my life with much more expectation of good things to come. But number 2 is it's not even a want, it's you absolutely need a good mentor that is in a position that you would trade places with. You see, 6 years ago, let me tell you guys a little bit about my story. 6 years ago, I was in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I was 19 years old, going to community college. I didn't want to go to community college. I was basically funneled into going there because I grew up around a ton of broke people. My whole town, it's a small town in Pittsburgh. Nobody made millions of dollars. Most people didn't even make 6 figures. So when you're surrounded by broke people, the reason they're broke is they don't know how to think, and they're not in the right opportunities, and they don't have the right people teaching them what to do and how to do it. So they end up broke. The problem for 90% of America is 90% of kids in America have broke parents, and they don't have access to people that make a lot of money because there's not a lot of people out there that make a lot of money. So when 90% of the people that you know are giving you guidance and wisdom and direction for your life, you end up in a position similar to me, where I failed out of high school, and right out of high school, my GPA was a 1.8, and it was assumed onto me, well, here's what we do as typical Americans. We go to college, and if you can't get into college, then you go to community college, you get better grades, and you transfer from community college into a real college. That way you can get a degree, then you can get into the workforce, get a good, stable, safe job with good benefits, and maybe by the time you're in your 40s or 50s, you'll have enough to make 6 figures a year, and then eventually when you're 65, you'll retire. That's most people. So when you're getting advice from just anybody and you're learning from just anybody, that's the advice you're gonna get. See, when I was 19, I looked at those people's lives and I'm like, I do not want to trade places with them. I do not want to work till I'm 65 years old and retire with just hardly enough money to get by. I'm like, I see people on Instagram driving Lamborghinis in their 20s, making millions of dollars, buying these big houses, traveling, buying things for their parents, supporting their wives, letting their wives stay at home, giving their kids a crazy life. I'm like, I want that, but I don't know anybody that has that. And that's where I was at 19 years into my life. So I was going to community college just because that's what the people around me were telling me to do. But the best thing that ever happened to me, other than meeting Jesus, is I got so lucky and blessed, and I'm highly favored by God, that I got connected to somebody in the insurance space that was already in the insurance industry for 17 years. And I looked at his life and I'm like, okay, here's what's important to me in a mentor. Do they make the money that I'm looking to make? My mentor that I met when I was 19 made millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars. So I'm like, okay, financially, he's where I want to be. But how is he physically? Because I'm the type of person that it's not just okay to be financially rich if you're fat and your family life sucks. So I'm like, let me see, is this dude in shape? In killer shape. My mentor that I met when I was 19 made millions of dollars, was in killer shape. He's in his 40s and has a 6-pack, so he's dialed in on his health, which means he's gonna live long, hopefully, and he's healthy and he can defend himself and all those things. I'm like, okay, there's 2 boxes checked. Now, how's his family life? Does he have a wife? Do his kids love him? Or does he neglect all that and that's the only way you can be successful? I look at his family. I'm like, okay, he's got a stay-at-home wife that he's been with for over 15 years, I think 13 years at the time, actually. Never cheated on her. I watch how they operate together. They're loving, everything's going smooth. And then I see he's got 3 kids, and I'm like, okay, his kids love him. He takes his kids on one-on-one days all the time. They're going on fun trips together. His family life is perfect, which showed me you don't have to neglect your family, your wife and kids to be successful. You can do it all. You just need to learn from someone that has proven they know how to do it all. So I got so lucky and blessed to learn from this guy. His name's Simon Arias, and literally the reason I'm rich is because I would ask him questions and seek guidance on everything. So I'm in the life insurance sales industry, as you know. Simon's been in the life insurance sales industry for 17 years. So when I was new, here were my options. There was hundreds of people in the industry that made 50,000. A lot of them quit the industry and said it's too good to be true. Some of them made 6 figures, but then there's Simon who makes multiple 7 figures. I'm like, look, I only want to learn from the top dude because I want to be like him. And I can't learn how to be a top dude from someone that's not a top guy in the industry. So how can I get this guy's attention to be my mentor? And luckily, he was just willing to help me out. So when I was new, step 1 was learn how to sell. I'm like, Simon, you've been in the industry for 17 years. Have you sold this product? He's like, yes, I've sold it at the highest level for a very long time. And not only have I sold it, I've taught many other people how to sell it. I'm like, okay, Simon, well, the client just said this to me. What do I say? And he would teach me what to say. I'd come back a few days later. I'm like, okay, I implemented that. I got better. But now when I say this, the clients are saying this. What do I do in this situation? Simon's like, been there, done that. Here's what you say. Boom, that'll never happen again. Boom, fixed. And I repeated that process. Make a mistake, ask for his guidance, fix it, don't make that same mistake again. Make another mistake, ask for his guidance, fix it, don't make that same mistake again. And before you know it, I mastered sales because I had a good mentor who's been there, done that, and knew exactly what to do for every situation I was in, to where I finished my first year in the sales industry as #1 producer in the entire company that we're with out of hundreds of agents. I was a 20-year-old college dropout in my first year competing with hundreds of people in this company who had been here for years and years and years. I'm not special. The reason I was #1 agent is not because I'm special. God has blessed me with a special work ethic, but the only reason I was able to do that is because I was connected to the top person in the industry who taught me what to do for every situation. I had an unfair advantage. Other people who weren't connected to the top guy in the industry would make a mistake and they'd go ask their sales leader, hey, what should I do here? And their sales leader would give them their advice, but that advice has only got them to where that sales leader is at, which is not the top in the industry. So they're gonna go take that game, that sales game, and implement it, and it's gonna get them the same result as the person that they learned it from. Because if you know what they know, and you do what they do, and you say what they say, and you think how they think, you can have what they have. The problem is you gotta make sure you're learning from the right person. Because if you're saying, thinking, acting as someone that's a mid-level producer, you're gonna end up a mid-level producer. You always gotta learn from the top dog if you can, so you can think how they think, say what they say, know what they know, do what they do, and eventually have what they have. So that's what's changed my life. But then I'm like, okay, Simon, I'm the top producer after year 1. Now I wanna grow a team. What's important for me when I'm growing a team? And I'm asking this to one of the top people in the entire insurance industry that's got the biggest teams. He knows how to recruit, he knows how to lead, he knows how to train people, he knows how to make other people successful. So I'm like, Simon, what do I need to do to be successful in growing a team? He's like, well, this is how you recruit people. Here's effective ways to obtain new agents for your team. That's a skill set that's taught. You can't learn that from someone who hasn't mastered how to do that at a high level. So if your goal is like, I want to make millions of dollars and grow a big sales team, and you're asking someone with a 5-person sales team, how do I recruit? They're not going to be able to teach you how to recruit, because if they knew, they would do. And if someone's only got 5 people on their team, therefore they don't know how to recruit. Simon had hundreds of people on his team. So I'm like, how do I recruit? Can you give me some effective ways to recruit? I implemented them. Next thing you know, boom, 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 I started to grow a big team. But then I'm like, okay, Simon, I got these people coming in, but there's other people in the industry that recruit a lot of people, but not a lot of them stick. So how can I make sure I'm training these people effectively? Because Simon, your agency's huge, everyone's successful. How can I train these people successfully? So I learned how to recruit from my mentor. Then he taught me how to train new agents. Since then, we've had thousands of people come through our team. Hundreds, if not thousands of people earn 6 figures. The reason people earn 6 figures and sometimes 7 figures on our team is not because I'm special. It's because I had a special mentor who taught me how to recruit to get you there. And then he taught me how to train people so when they got there, we could actually help them become successful. And then from there, leadership is teaching people how to become better mentally, physically, and spiritually. Because when you do that and the person transforms as a whole, they become better financially and they end up making more money, and they can become successful without neglecting the things that are important in life, like their health and their family. I learned all of this from my mentor. I am a walking billboard of how successful my mentor is at teaching other people how to become successful. So when you look at me, if you think I'm special, I am just a reflection of what I've learned from my mentor. And all I do is, number one, I keep God first. God blesses me and I'm super favored. But all I do is, my job is so easy. Work hard and listen to what my mentor does, or listen to what my mentor says, and be coachable. And next thing you know, I'm getting the same results as him. Now I'm 25, making millions and millions and millions of dollars per year. And it's because I work hard and I listen to what my multi-million-dollar mentor has taught me. Now, that's my experience with having a mentor. But because I have a good mentor and I work hard and I'm coachable, it puts me in a position to now be a mentor for others. So when you join our sales team, here's what happens. We've got 60 leaders on our team that train the new agents. And we bring in tons of people every single week. So I don't have enough time to train everybody myself. Luckily, I've been able to duplicate the systems for training, recruiting, developing into all 60 leaders on our team. And that number 60 continues to grow every single month, to where when you learn from the leaders on our team, as long as they're being coachable, you're going to be getting the same type of coaching that you'd be getting from me. But I sometimes decide to train people directly myself as well. And I want to go over some of those case studies so you can see the power of mentorship. But I wanted to start with, just so you know, I am where I'm at because I had a multi-million-dollar mentor who taught me exactly what to do. I took those same things he taught me and I've taught a few other people on our team. And I think it's cool for you guys to see these people's results. So I want to read a few of them to you. And I'm going to give you their Instagram so you can look at how much their life has changed when they found me as a mentor. And it's so fulfilling being their mentor and watching their lives change, because I know I've made an impact on their life, not only financially, but also mentally, physically, and spiritually through the things that I've learned through my mentor. So check it out. I want to tell you guys what these kids were doing before they joined our team, how they even got introduced to our team, and what their results look like since joining our team. First one, Gavin McDonald. If you guys want to look up his Instagram so you can see him, it's Gavin, Gavin, McDonald, McDonald 4. So I was in Tampa when I met Gavin. He was 19 years old when I first met him. He was a full-time college student at the University of Tampa. He was playing hockey there. And the way he got introduced to our team is someone that was on our sales team at that time, who's no longer here, recruited Gavin. They brought Gavin to the office, and what I saw in Gavin was an immature 19-year-old college punk who I didn't even really want to spend time around, because I know that this kid spent his weekends at the bars. He just wasn't that hardworking, and he just wasn't someone that I was really trying to spend time around. But anyway, he ended up getting some time around me. First and foremost, since joining our team, let's not even talk finances. Gavin has officially cut all vices. He no longer drinks. He hasn't had a sip of alcohol in over 2 years. Gavin, before joining our team, spent his weekends at the bars and who knows what else he was doing. Now he spends his weekends in church. He's gotten baptized since joining our team. He goes to church with his team every Sunday. He brings at least 10 people to church every single time. He donates 10% of his income to the local church in Tampa. When he goes to the gym, he's a leader now. He doesn't only go to the gym by himself every morning at 5:30 without missing. He goes with at least 10 people on his team, impacting others. So mentally, physically, and spiritually, since joining our team and being under our mentorship, Gavin's completely changed his life. But let's talk finances. He dropped out of college when he was 19. His first year on our team, he made $136,000. His second year on our team, he made $238,000. And this year is his third year on our team. He's already made over $800,000, and we're just getting started with November. So that is Gavin McDonald, someone that is the hardest worker on our team now, the most coachable to my mentoring, and just all around a great kid. He's one of those kids that I've helped mentor one-on-one. I don't have time to teach everybody, but Gavin's one of those people that I've directly helped the same way my mentor Simon helped me, and those are the results he's getting. Number 2, Tyler Lala. If you want to look up Lala's Instagram, it's Tyler_Lala, LALA 25. Here's what Tyler was doing before I met him. And here's how I met Tyler. A kid that was on our team 3 years ago who's no longer on our team. That kid actually only lasted 2 weeks. Great kid, but sales wasn't for him. He introduced me to Tyler. I met Tyler. I didn't know who he was. Tyler grew up in Tampa. And I'm like, yo, what's up, Tyler? What do you do? Tyler played college baseball And then out of college, he started working for a door-to-door sales company called Vivint, selling security systems, I think. He did decent, but he didn't love knocking on doors at Vivint. Tyler joined our team. Let's talk about physically and spiritually how he's transformed under this mentorship. Since joining our team, he is a very consistent churchgoer, goes every single Sunday. Same thing, he's in a leadership position on our team now, so when he goes to church, he brings a bunch of his guys on his team with him. So his spirit has transformed and he's growing in his relationship with Jesus. Tyler now donates 10% of his income to the church every single Sunday, helping grow the kingdom. Tyler was in terrible physical shape when we met. Since then, he's gotten locked in on a diet, a workout routine. He goes to the gym every single morning. And when people see him, they're like, oh my goodness, you look like you're on steroids. You're in much better shape. He's dialed in physically. Financially, year one, Tyler made $118,000. Year two, Tyler made $285,000. In year three, which is this year, Tyler's already made over $530,000 for the year, and we're only in November. Tyler has also purchased a Lamborghini drop top since working with us. Tyler also bought the bleachers for his old baseball team's college, whatever. They like, yo, we need someone that can afford to buy the bleachers for the stadium. Lala scratched a check for the bleachers. He invests a ton of money into the stock market. He's killing it. He's also my roommate. So Tyler is someone that I work with very closely one-on-one. That's his results. Next up, this one's crazy. Brian Colarusso. His Instagram is @BIGBRAHHH, Big Bra. How I met Brian. I've known Brian since kindergarten. He's from my hometown in Pittsburgh, but this is a funny story. My first year in sales, I tried recruiting Brian, and he said, nah, bro, that's a pyramid scheme. I'm not doing that crap. I'm staying in college. So I'm like, dang, I'm trying to help this dude, and he's telling me it's a pyramid scheme, whatever. So he stayed in college, and we didn't really talk much for my first 2 years in sales because he was going to college, I was doing sales. And then after 2 years, he saw how much my life changed, and he's like, yo, I know I said that was a pyramid scheme when you first joined, but I've seen how much your life has changed over the last 2 years. So just so you know, when I graduate college, I'm coming to work with you. So I'm like, all right, say less. Brian graduated college 3 years ago, moved from Pittsburgh to Tampa, Florida with $75 to his name. He drove a beat up Nissan down to Tampa, slept in a spare air mattress in one of my houses in Tampa at the time. And then I moved him into my apartment for the second month he was there. I'm pretty sure Brian grew up atheist. Since joining our team, Brian goes to church every single Sunday, has gotten baptized, given his life to Jesus, donates 10% of his income, and has also brought dozens, if not hundreds of people on his sales team to the church, gotten them baptized and introduced them to Jesus as well. But on top of that, let's talk about income. Brian was delivering pizza before joining us, probably making less than $500 every 2 weeks. Year one, Brian made $178,000. Year two, Brian made $458,000. In year three, which is this year, we're only in November, he's made over $1.2 million already so far. Brian also has 2 Lamborghinis. One of them's a drop top SVJ, the same exact color as mine. The other is a sick Mansory Urus, and his life has completely changed. Brian, for Christmas every year, buys his family crazy presents. He helps provide for people around him. Overall, his life has changed completely. Obviously, I work with Brian super closely because he's been my best friend since kindergarten. Those are his results. Next up, Riley Mix. This one's crazy. Riley Mix, if you want to look up his Instagram, it's RILEYMIX. He's only been on our team for 7 months. How did I meet Riley? My girlfriend, Kiara, who, backstory, praise God for virtual sales and giving me the ability to do this. I dated Kiara for 2 weeks. I've been with her for 3 years now, but when I met her, after 2 weeks, this was 3 years ago, she was working as a server at a restaurant. I don't even know if we were dating yet. We might have just been talking like on our way to dating, but after 2 weeks, I said, how much do you make as a server at that restaurant? She was like, $13 an hour. I said, how many hours a week do you work? She said, whatever she said. I said, okay, quit that job. I'll pay you that money so you don't have to go be a server waiting on people's tables. Like, let me just pay you so you can do what you like to do. And then let me help you find a job that you actually like to do. You don't have to work. I'll provide everything. I pay for her car, her apartment, her food, everything. But I'm like, so you have a purpose and can do something with your life. Find something that you like to do and do what you like to do, not something that you're forced to do. Virtual sales gave me the opportunity to do that. So she was always bouncing around, trying different things. One of the things she tried was this Arbonne company where she was selling healthy products. The reason she joined is because it was a great community. All the girls that worked there, it was kind of like our sales team. All those girls were pushing each other to be better mentally, physically, spiritually, and financially. But the girl that recruited her to work for Arbonne, her name was Kristen, an awesome girl, great person for Kiara to hang out with. Kiara did that for months and months and months, but Kristen had a husband named Riley. The thing with Riley was he was already super successful. He was making over $300K a year for the last few years doing what he was doing. And Riley saw how I was able to treat Kiara. Riley saw the lifestyle I lived. And he came to me and he's like, yo, I want to go golfing with you. So really the first time I ever met Riley, his wife and my girlfriend were really good friends. They hung out all the time. But the first time I met Riley was on a golf course probably 8 months ago. And he just said, I want to golf with you and get to know you. So I went golfing with him. And as we were golfing, he's asking me all these questions about the sales opportunity, how we get leads, how he can scale a team. He asked me so many questions. By the end of the golf game, he's like, look, I want to work with you, but only if I can learn directly from you. Can I do that? I'm like, of course, bro. Like, your wife is my girl's basically mentor. They're best friends. Of course you can work with me. And he's like, okay, well, here's the thing. I've been making $300K a year for the last few years. Do you think if I learn from you that I could learn how to make more than that? And I said, absolutely. Quit that job right now. $300K is weak. This car is $300K. Like, brother, I can teach you how to make more than $300K. If you can do 1/20th of what I've been able to do, you'll be able to make $300K. Do you think you could be at least 1/20th as good as your mentor? He's like, yeah. I'm like, okay, yeah, $300K is not going to be hard. If you work hard and you're coachable, I made over $300K my first year. I've been doing this for 5 years now. $300K is not hard. So Riley, because he was going to learn from me, and this is humbling, quit his $300K a year job, joined us full time. Here's his results. In his first 7 months, he's already way over $150K in income. And now it was a slow start. He wasn't making that much at first. I mean, he was making a couple thousand a week, but his first few weeks, he was making less than what he was making at his old job. But now he's making 10, 15K a week. So by the end of year 1, he'll make close to maybe 500K. And I expect year 2, 3, and 4 for that to double minimum every year moving forward, as it should. Riley's already super tapped in spiritually. He was already baptized before joining our team. But physically, he wasn't in the best shape when he joined. So I'm like, Riley, your spirit's there. Your finances are there. You're a great leader. You're a great husband, but let's get you in the gym. He's now on a diet. He hits the gym every morning at 5:30. He's in the best physical shape of his life. He's got a daughter on the way due in February. And overall, he's transformed himself. He's in great physical shape, mental shape, spiritual shape, and financial shape since joining our team. So shout out to Riley. And then last for this video, because it's getting long, is Ellis Fiola. Here's how Ellis Fiola's Instagram, ELISFEOLA. When I moved to Tampa, keep in mind that my first few weeks in Tampa, I was a dead broke 20-year-old. But I'm like, I got to meet the people that are popular in Tampa. So I would go to the clubs, whatever. I don't go to clubs anymore. I met Ellis and I'm like, okay, this is the most popular dude at the University of Tampa. I need to recruit him. So I tried recruiting him my first year in Tampa when I was new to the city. It didn't work, but I got to know him, so we stayed in contact. A year goes by, I try recruiting him again. Can't get him. He's working at the nightclub, making money as like a host at the nightclub. But after 2 years, he watched how much my life changed since he first met me when I was with this company to after 2 years. I went from a dead broke 20-year-old to one of probably the richest kids in Tampa at 22 years old, and he watched the whole thing. He saw how I operated. I would hit the gym every morning. I'd post my Bible, keep God first every day from the day I started. He would see me at church every single Sunday, and then he saw me posting. I was working hard, selling life insurance every day for 2 years. And he also saw the money I was making, the cars I was buying, trips I was taking, all that. So he knew it was legit because he saw me start from the bottom and get to where I was at after 2 years. So he's like, yo, bro, I'm ready to go all in, but I want to learn from you because you've gotten these results. And if you can teach me how to do the same thing, like I want to learn from you. So Ellis joined us full-time 3 years ago, quit the nightclub job and trusted us. Year 1, Ellis made $121,000. Year 2, Ellis made $464,000. And year 3, Ellis is already over $500,000 and we're only in November. And he's gonna make way more next year because his team is starting to grow. So that's just a couple of the case studies for people that have come in and joined our team. Oh, also since joining us, Ellis goes to church every Sunday, got baptized, donates 10% of his income to the church, all these great things. There's probably 5 to 8 more people that I've directly mentored. All of them earn over 6 figures, if not 7 figures each year. But the reason I'm bringing this up is because in life, you need to find someone that you would trade places with, and you need to do whatever it takes to get in front of that person and learn from them. I was so lucky and blessed to get in front of Simon and be able to learn from him. It's changed my life so much. And I feel like it doesn't really matter if someone knows how to do it. Like, okay, it's good if I've done it. That would be cool. But what's even cooler is not only have I gotten the results from learning from Simon, I've taken what Simon's taught me that changed my life and taught it to other people, and they're getting the same exact results I've got, but if not faster. That is true mentorship. When you can learn something from someone, master it, get the same results they've got, and then you become the mentor, you can teach other people the same information that changed your life, and when they do it, you can watch it change their life. So to wrap up this video, if you want to join our sales team, we know how to make money, and we're not terrible people. We're not perfect by any means necessary, but part of our culture is we're gonna push you to be better mentally, physically, spiritually, and in return, you're gonna grow financially. I run an interview every Monday at 8 p.m. for people to join our sales team. Now, before you join our sales team, you're probably wondering, well, what do you sell? How's it work? Click the link in the description of this video. There's a company overview. That video explains what we sell, what the schedule looks like, how we get paid, how we get leads, company history, stability, vision, growth, so on and so forth. Once you watch that, if you're like, okay, I want to join this sales team, join our Monday interview. It's every night at 8 p.m. Here's what happens on the interview call. I go over more information about the company, all the details, leads, so on and so forth. Then, if we decide you're going to be a good fit, we place you with one of the 60 trainers on our team. Keep in mind, all 60 trainers on our team are people that have learned from me. So as long as they're still using the same information I taught them, they've got great information. But then every single week, there's a few people on that call. Every week, we've got hundreds of people that apply. There's a few people on the call that I look for, and what I'm looking for is what I was when I got mentored. Hungry, willing to be coachable, willing to go all in. Because if you come to me and you're hungry, you're coachable, and you're willing to go all in, I can teach you how to change your life the same way my mentor taught me how to change mine. So every week, out of the tons of people that are on the call, most of them I give out to our 60 trainers, but I look for a few that are killers, and I'm like, okay, let me work with you next. Let me help you become my testimonial, and you'll be the next Riley Mix, or the next Big Bra, or the next Gavin. But I'm not working with everyone because I don't have enough time. I wish I could, but in order for me to really teach you what you need to know and spend time with you, I can't train 200 people at once, which is why we've got 60 trainers to help out. So if you want to join the team, click the link in this video. I look forward to seeing you on the interview call. God is great, and don't forget, you need a mentor. Peace.